Imagine the person who loves you most in the world. Now, imagine that the absolute second your heart stops, that same person runs away from you screaming, "Ghost! Ghost!" I mean, it's a brutal image, right?
Oh, brutal, yeah, but well, it's incredibly effective at stripping away that, romanticized view we hold of human relationships.
Right, totally. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We are exploring a translated hymn from 17th century Sikh scripture that really forces us to look in the mirror.
Yeah, these are the philosophical teachings of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and they are set to Rag Sorath.
And for context, Rag Sorath is a specific musical measure or mood used in this tradition to evoke deep contemplative feelings. Our mission today, to confront some very uncomfortable truths about self-interest, fair weather friends, and where we actually place our trust.
It's definitely a heavy mission, but a really necessary one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, let's unpack this. Think about your current social circle. We like to believe our bonds are unconditional, but this source text immediately bursts that bubble. It states bluntly that the world is tangled up in its own pleasures, and, well, no one is really for anyone else.
Right, it really doesn't ease you in at all. It just confronts you with how transactional our lives actually are. I mean, when things are going great, you have wealth, status, good times, people just crowd around you.
We're the center of the universe.
Exactly, you're the center of the universe. But the moment adversity hits, well, that crowd just vanishes.
It is the ultimate fair weather friends scenario. It reminds me of a corporate partnership. Like everyone is celebrating in the boardroom when the profits are up, but the second the stock tanks, no one answers your calls.
That is a really great way to look at it.
But honestly, I have to push back here a little bit. Isn't it a bit overly cynical to claim everyone is just in it for themselves?
Well, what's fascinating here is that it's not meant to be cynical at all. It is a purely objective observation of human psychology.
Really? How so?
Because we naturally build relationships around shared circumstances and mutual benefits. The text isn't calling people malicious or anything like that. It is just highlighting that human affection is highly conditional.
Okay, I see. So when the condition that brought you together disappears, the bond just dissolves.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast.
Wow. So we spend our entire lives relying on these conditional transactional contracts without even realizing it.
We do. We really do.
And that logic brings us back to that terrifying opening image. Because what happens when we look past just losing our money or our status to losing our lives entirely? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah, the reaction of the wife.
Right. The text uses this shocking reaction of a devoted wife fleeing from her husband's body the exact moment he dies. It's so jarring. How does a lifelong intimacy turn to sheer terror in a fraction of a second?
Well, to understand that, we have to look at how our brains process identity. The text uses the beautiful imagery of the swan soul departing the body.
The swan soul.
Yes, the swan is the vital essence, the actual consciousness, and the body is just a temporary vessel. During life, human psychology kind of tricks us into equating the physical vessel with the person.
We fall in love with the interface, basically.
Exactly. We confuse the hardware for the software. And when that software, the swan soul, leaves, the illusion breaks instantly. The body just becomes a lifeless shell.
Oh, wow. So the terror the spouse feels isn't really about the supernatural at all.
No, not at all. It's the sudden, harsh cognitive dissonance of realizing the physical form they were so attached to was never the actual essence of the person.
So what does this all mean? If every earthly connection we have, from the people at our parties to our life partners, is tied to conditions and physical vessels that inevitably expire, what are you supposed to rely on?
That is the pivotal question, right?
Right.
But the hymn doesn't just tear down your worldview and leave you with nothing.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah. It strips away these illusions to make room for a spiritual solution. It concludes that at the very last moment, when everything else falls away, the only true companion is the divine.
The only thing that isn't conditional.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about shifting your internal anchor.
Shifting it away from people, you mean?
Yeah, because as long as you attach your ultimate security to fleeting human connections, you will always be vulnerable to disappointment or loss. But by anchoring yourself in the divine, you align with the only constant reality.
It's a journey from the painful realization of how temporary human bonds are, straight through the shock of our own mortality.
Right, leading you to find a place of unshakable spiritual reliance. It forces you to stop demanding permanence from a world that is inherently temporary.
Which leaves you with something highly profound to mull over today.
It really is a powerful thought.
It is. Think about it. If you fully accept that all your worldly ties are ultimately temporary, How might that realization actually free you? If you stop expecting human relationships to be your ultimate unbreakable salvation, you might just find the freedom to enjoy them for the beautiful, fleeting moments they actually are.